The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Wednesday, the 30th day of June, 2021. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House One Communications and Lindo's. I'm Jamal Hartman, along with Michaela Ian, as well as Liana Lambert, who will be with us a bit later to bring you the latest in her news break. Kales, your hair?
You like my hair?
It is popping, and folks, I'm just going to be honest with you. If Liana wouldn't have said it backstage, I probably wouldn't recognize, but I was going to show off, be like, yeah, Kale's looking good, sister. But yeah, my wife always gets on me for not recognizing stuff.
Listen, I have the best braids lady in the world. Don't ask me who she is because I don't want her to be booked and busy beyond being able to take my appointment.
See how she keeps all this good stuff to herself, folks. She keeps all.
No, I do tell people. I've had people ask me, and I go, "Okay, fine. I'll tell you who she is," because I got her from a referral too. So got to share the love.
And that's how we help one another, folks. Referrals. But look, we have another good one for you today. Good morning to you all. Thanks for making us part of your daily routine. We're welcoming Fashionista. Is that a word, Fashionista?
Mm-hmm. And it fits Perri to a T.
Absolutely, right?
Yeah.
And she's an entrepreneur, Perri Furbert of the Gold Label. So she's in the house. So I actually follow her. I love what she's doing from tiny little Bermuda. So looking forward to that conversation. Should be a very empowering and inspirational one. The Daily Play is a say it, don't sing it. I think Kales has got this one on lock. I think she's got this one on lock.
I hope so, because the last two I didn't get. So
you got Mondays after one hint.
Oh yes, but I didn't get Michael Jackson last week, and I didn't get Whitney the week before. So those are both pretty ridiculous that I didn't get them actually.
This one, give you a hint, is more up to date than them. So I think you've got this one on lock. But look, we have a lot to talk about, Michaela.
We do. It's the end of the month.
Yeah, the final day of June. So that means we're halfway through the year, right? 6 months, yeah.
That means we're halfway through the year. That means that I have put up with you for an entire 30 days.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. You've survived, folks. And speaking of you putting up with me, just want to give a shout out to Good Day Bermuda. The girls, they had technical difficulties today, so there was no Good Day Bermuda. But I want to give a big congratulations to both Jackie and Teresa, because they've been doing it for a month. And I honestly felt this morning, because I was in the gym and I was waiting, and I'm like, huh? And then she sent a message, and I was like, my energy is not there. Like, they give me such energy that early in the morning. And so they're like my coffee. So props to them. They made it a month as well. Michaela's, I think Liana's just over a month. So we're making some progress, folks. But look, yesterday there was, I'm not going to say a parade. It wasn't a march.
I don't think it was a march either. It looked like a gathering.
A gathering. It was a gathering at.
I'm not trying to downplay it, but that's what it looked like.
No, but just trying to call it what it was. Like, it wasn't, because when I think of march, I think of back in the day, unions marching through Hamilton in protest.
Right. That's not what it was.
Yeah. So there was a gathering at Cabinet yesterday, and here's the thing. I have no shame in saying that when we were fighting as Bermudians against the draft, we didn't have a lot of public support. We had no public support, pretty much, right?
I remember.
And that's okay. Like, it's okay not to have public support if you have a strategy. And I think yesterday, Well, first, what are your thoughts about the attendance? Do you think it was well attended? Was it full? And when I think of large attendance, there's two things that come to mind in Bermuda outside of that, things that are not union related, because I think it's unfair to use union stuff because union members they come out for their stuff. But two things: one, the protest against the Uyghurs with Dr. Brown.
Yes, that's what I was going to bring up. Yeah.
And two, I believe it was the same-sex situation. Those are the two.
Yeah, well, the pathways as well. The pathways to status, that was a lot.
But that improved. That was part of the union kind of played a role in that.
True.
Yeah, but like non-union roles, I think those are the ones I look at as measuring. And when I looked at yesterday, I just didn't see the same impact. Am I wrong? Like,
so I didn't see the same impact either. I expected to see over 1,000 plus people. I didn't see that. And so to me, I'm kind of like, is the low turnout reflective of the fact that the majority of Bermuda now, because it's over 60%, so the majority of Bermuda is now vaccinated. And so the majority of the restrictions don't apply to them. So they're not bothered. Maybe.
Well, see, it's concerning. It's concerning because, look, I think I'm fair. I legit, no lie, folks. I literally asked the premier a couple weeks ago, last month. I'm like, do you think I treat you unfairly? And we had an honest conversation because one of the things I try not to do is be unfair or biased. Yeah, I'm very honest in respect to one particular minister, right? But I try not to be biased. Now, that said, I think even Don Burgess said it last week. The premier has a tough job right now.
Yeah.
We must not forget. This is a job that majority of the people against them probably would not do any better. Right?
I agree.
If you went the other way, you would have people from the other side. But that said, I don't think it's helpful when you have these sorts of rallies. And could it be people were at work? Could it be people don't feel the same? Right?
See, my thing is, I look at the people who were leading the rally, and they have been known to post lots of conspiracy theory sort of things. We had people screaming about Bill Gates. We had people talking about how masks are not necessary and they're dangerous. So for me, even if I am opposed to the government restrictions, I wholeheartedly believe in masks. I wholeheartedly believe that if you are not vaccinated, or even if you are vaccinated, if you are in close proximity to people, you should be wearing a mask, point blank. I don't do well with conspiracy theory stuff. I also don't do well with the premier is in Bill Gates's pocket. I don't do well with that sort of allegation either. So, and then you had someone literally screaming in the mic, things that don't really seem to make sense. So I just think it's a case of, like you said, no strategy. And I think it's also a case of the message was off. Well, it was a lot of things, like don't do PCR testing anymore. Okay, we're gonna continue to test people. Maybe we like we've said on here before, I do believe we test aggressively, but there still needs to be testing. And then don't allow children and teenagers to get the vaccine. But that's a personal choice for parents anyway. So.
Okay, so let's go back. You said something that hit me just now, and I just want to address some comments. Trudy Q. Simmons says there were 800 people watching via Burn News. Okay. Yeah, no, that's fair, but people watching doesn't equate to people supporting.
No, it doesn't, because I watched it and I don't support what they're doing.
And I saw the comments, but I want to say something based on what you just said. As far as strategy, right? One thing I don't think Larry Marshall Sr. gets enough credit for is strategy. It wasn't about being popular or changing everyone's mind, you know. It was about focusing on those people who had the power to make the legislative changes.
Exactly.
Right? I think we get, you know, I've been listening to Kwame Brown lately. One of my friends and mentors inspired me to watch Kwame Brown. And I've been watching Kwame Brown lately. And he's always speaking of this like and follow society that we live in. And I think the reason you had a rally where there was so many different angles, because I was sold with Dr. Armani Flood. You could have ended right there. Even Mr. Belvedere, well spoken, right? But then it started to go off the rails, and I tuned out, right? I became uninterested, right? And there were times when, you know, people would say, "Oh, Mr. Marshall was had me," and then he started mentioning slavery and comparing it to slavery, and he lost me at that point. Okay, fair enough. But here's what got me. And someone pointed this out on Twitter. When you're talking about Mary Prince and slavery, and a lot of people in that audience, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? So I think the message was just so mixed that if you were a layman and you just tuned in, you would probably be like, well, what is this about? What is the point? What's the point?
Yeah, I think that the message got muddled for sure. I think that if they had come out with one main, we don't agree with unvaccinated people being forced to quarantine at their own expense in hotels, fine, like make that your thing. But don't start talking about masks aren't protecting people. Like, just stop. Like, we know that masks have helped tremendously.
You mentioned the Bill Gates thing, and I want to touch on this. And honestly, I don't give advice, folks. I don't. But if I did give advice, here's what I'll say to anyone that keeps repeating the Bill Gates thing. What I'm not going to do is sit here and tell you you're wrong or it's not true. What I will say, and I'm going to use what I can relate to conscription. Mr. Marshall and I were talking some months ago.
Okay.
And he says to me, people can call us a lot of things. But one thing they can never say is that we're liars. And the point that we were making in this conversation was that we never threw out these theories that can be called conspiracy theories. Everything that we did was based on fact, actuality, reality. My point is, unless you have actual facts that can prove the words that you're using, the language that you're using, the sentences that you're speaking, unless you can prove it, then you're gonna be looked at like that. Now, there were a lot of times we said things, right? We said things and people said, "Oh, they're crazy," and they dismissed us, right? And they were proven true. Whether it was the sexual assaults of males in that institution that we spoke about, we proved it. Right? We proved the abuse. You lose people, and I'm telling you from experience, we lost a lot of people, folks, because we would say things without showing them. So we had to redevelop our strategy and say, no. If we're gonna say it, we have to actually share examples. And then when we got in court, our lawyer Eugene Johnston was absolutely spectacular in how he done stuff, and actually in one of the cases got the regiment to basically say at that time, yeah, it was, but we didn't deem it a sexual assault at the time. It wasn't classified, which again, we go back, it's front page news, folks. Again, it didn't cause uproar in the community like it should have. But my point, Michaela, is that you cannot keep saying these things that seem far-fetched without providing the actual facts to back it up, because you're going to lose people. You have a person like Michaela. Michaela just said to you, look, you have me. I do think the testing and the quarantine in hotels, we don't agree with it. You got them right there. So don't go and lose them in other spaces.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like, the Bill Gates thing has been going on since last year. And I'm like, unless you are going to show up with proof, if you have a video of the premier and Bill Gates meeting secretly and audio that shows that Bermuda is making X amount of dollars off of partnering with Bill Gates undercover, or certain politicians are making X amount of dollars as a result of partnering with Bill Gates, then show it to me. You know what I mean? Show it to me. But if you don't have anything, stop talking about it, because that's when you're losing people. And then there, people who start to, 5G and this, just stop. Pick something that is concrete, that is factual, and run with that.
Yeah. Well, the other thing, again, it's just fascinating to me. I've had a couple people hit me up, said, I'll use the brother he watches sometimes, Craig Luby, and he put a comment yesterday. And he can be overwhelming to some people, but I watch how people who've been fighting injustices for so many years, how they're responding to this. And they're just like, funny how human rights matters all of a sudden to some people. funny how this, funny how that. And I just say, I'll say this much. I will not demean anyone's fight. I've said for ages, I actually probably respect the LGBTQ community, the way they fight, probably more than any.
Yeah.
I mean, they get things done. If you're looking to fight a cause, you want to get folks from that community who are at the front on your team. Trust me, folks. Like, I respect the way that they get things done. But I think one of the things that they do better than any other group that's fighting the cause, they have this collective unity.
Yeah.
Well, they may infight, there may be issues with it, but you never, it's never, you never see it in public,
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And the thing is, like, if you want people to be on your side in terms of, we don't agree what government is doing, this is a prison, et cetera, that's fine. But like, focus on that. Focus on that one message that brings everyone together. And don't let anybody and everybody get up there on a mic screaming nonsense in a mic. You know what I mean? Because then the people who might have supported you are going to be like, you know what? I'm not interested in this because it's going way too left. And I'm done.
Terry says, if they mention Bill Gates one more time, LOL. Here's the question for the audience real quickly. What are your thoughts on yesterday's event at Cabinet? What are your thoughts? How do you feel? Now, Kales, you mentioned something about a Michael Dunkley article.
So,
go ahead.
Michael Dunkley had an op-ed, if you will, in Bar News yesterday. And the whole gist of it was, it's pretty much time to consider eliminating the travel authorization form. So as we know, the travel authorization form came into effect 1 year ago on Friday, actually, July 2nd, when the airport opened for first passengers. And in the past couple of weeks, it's been a massive source of contention. Not only has it been a massive source of contention, but as residents or as Bermudians, you've got to pay to enter your own country, which is a little, So his thought process was have people pre-test or upload their vaccination certification or show that as proof to enter the island. And then if you want to keep testing people, keep testing people. See, I don't think we should be testing people that ridiculously, personally. But I tend to have to agree with that because at what point do we say this is just getting ridiculous, And I just remember last year was a whole big thing because what is the company? Quest? Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Okay, so they got the job or the contract to do the travel authorizations and all of that, but it was never put out to tender and all of that. So that still continues to be an issue, but I just feel like, why are we making it difficult? We keep saying we're open, but we keep making it difficult for people to actually come to Bermuda. Not only that, it's Bermudians and residents are having issues with this. So I thought it was a really interesting read. Did you have a look at it?
I read the Royal Gazette. I didn't see his actual op-ed. I think Gareth Finnegan broke it down on the Royal Gazette titled OBA calls on Premier to relax regulations, and Michael Dunkley speaks to it. So I didn't see it from him. I just saw the Royal Gazette's breakdown of it. But I agree with him. I definitely, and folks, like Vic Ball the other day, I agree with him. But I want to say this because we've got to bring Leanna in. I want to say this. As critical as I am of not David Burt the person, but the government led by the Premier at times, I do listen attentively, and unfortunately, I do listen attentively to him when he speaks at the press conferences. And I don't necessarily see when you put your bias aside, he comes across extremely arrogant and dismissive. But I also see a guy who may be benefiting. I don't know. People think he's benefiting in some way, but I do see a guy that legit really is up against it, and sometimes really comes across as if, look, man, I believe I'm doing what's best for the country. Here's where I think he falls short. You believe you're doing what's best for the country, but others don't feel the same way. And what I believe he's doing is playing a numbers game, which is what happens in politics. The numbers game is, well, the majority will never agree, but for those who do, we're going to move forward. And I think that's his mindset. And at the end, I mean, it's politics. And so, I just want to let you know, we will have the Premier on this show. in the coming weeks, and we'll get to speak to him, I think, in the next 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's on, I think it's the 16th. Yeah, so just around the corner.
Okay, so he'll be on, and I'm sure he'll be open to answering the questions that we have. Let's go to some comments. Teresa says, the rally lost its steam once they moved away from the point of the gathering. Jeremiah Micah Haywood says, agreed. Dr. Janine Richardson, Sophia Cannoneer, and Spencer threw the agenda way off. The crowd was too mixed for some of those speeches.
Yeah.
Indeed. Well, part of public speaking is knowing your audience, and I think they may have come up short in that respect. Graham Smith says, in Australia, the Delta variant has been spread within quarantine. Well, interesting there, Graham. Maybe we should hit up our premier about that. Sean Smith-Kills.
I assume people mention Bill Gates' name because his foundation is the largest private donor to the World Health Organization, and who is leading the charge against COVID-19. That's fine, but like, stop saying that him and the premier are in cahoots, like, unless you have evidence.
Yeah, and he was on island. Let's bring Leanna into the convo. Good morning, Lee. How are you, my sister?
Good morning, guys. Another hot one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's this kitchen we just can't cool it down, you know.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, obviously you're gonna share more with us. One of the questions I had, and I'm sure you have it in your news, is did they go down to 50 people now allowed?
Yes, and I will be talking about that in the newscast.
I guess my question, and we'll get to this on another day, is, well, what happens to cup match? Does that? Okay, I'll tell you. Folks, I'm gonna start asking stuff. After Liana, we had Perri Furbert from the Gold Label, a very exciting fashionpreneur. I'm not sure if I made that one up, but East End entrepreneur. We also have the movement moment with Tamara Denell. So do not go anywhere. Lee, over to you.
Thanks, Jamala, Michaela, and good morning to everyone tuned in with us, both near and far. It is the end of the month, and I hope everyone is having a great start to their day. I'm Leanna Lambert, and it's time for our daily hour news break. Just when we thought we were in the clear, news emerged last evening that 6 people have been infected with the COVID-19 Delta variant, a more active strain of the coronavirus. Now, Premier David Burt called the news disappointing during a press conference last night and said it highlighted the need for vigilance, even as Bermuda's number of fully vaccinated people passed the 60% mark. Now, Mr. Burt remained upbeat that the island could still hit its goal of 70% immunizations, saying that the arrival last week of 4,000 fresh doses of the Pfizer vaccine put the jab within reach of anyone not vaccinated so far. But the premier maintained that strict 2-week supervised quarantines for non-immunized incoming travelers were scientifically proven as necessary. He said, quote, strong leadership will be necessary in the face of criticism and differing views, end quote. Now, the news also led to government revealing that large group gatherings will once again cut from 100 to 50 people beginning tomorrow due to the increase in cases. So far, the total active cases on the island is now 15. 6 of the active cases are said to be the Delta variant and 5 the Beta or South African variant, according to the chief medical officer. In other news, a dispute with management over the potential firing of a long-standing colleague has caused staff at hardware store SAL to walk off the job. Warnell Steed, chief union shop steward at SAL, said about 15 staff members walked off the job 2 days ago and haven't returned to their duties at the Southampton hardware store and concrete production plant since Monday, after he claimed a garage supervisor was threatened with dismissal. Now, the management called police to attend the premises as the dispute escalated. However, after speaking with both parties, police say that the matter was settled. But when workers turned up for work yesterday morning, the gate was locked and the locks had been changed. Vance Campbell, chief executive at SAL and a Progressive Labour Party MP, said the company now planned to terminate Mr. Steed as a result of Monday's confrontation. However, he said no decision had been made on the fate of the garage supervisor, who has not been named, but said that a verbal warning had been issued to him based upon his performance. Additionally, Mr. Campbell said SAL, which is owned by businessman Wendell Brown, had informed the Bermuda Industrial Union that it intended to terminate Mr. Steed on the grounds of serious misconduct, inclusive of threatening behavior and gross insubordination. Now, BIU President Chris Furbert has been made aware of the issues, and a meeting has been called for Thursday. And the Bermuda Public Service Union has appointed 2 members to their secretariat positions. Kevin Grand has been named the BPSU's General Secretary, while Linda Bogle-Mienzer has been named the Labor Relations Organizer. Mr. Grant was appointed on May 12th after 5 years as Assistant General Secretary. He served as president of the BPSU between 2011 and 2014, where he was credited for helping the Bermuda Industrial Union join the Bermuda Trade Union Congress and participating in talks between the BTUC and the government. Meanwhile, Ms. Bogle-Mienzer joined the BPSU in 2003 after she took up the position of shop steward after the death of Gladys Saunders. She has served on the chair at the BPSU's Immigration Division, Shop Stewards Committee, and Public Relations Committee. For today's weather, we have a high near 83 and a low near 75 degrees. Today, we will see a bright morning with a light breeze. The high tends to weaken towards the weekend as a front presses in, allowing the return of the warm and humid southwesterly winds and increasing to the potential for shower activity. That's all for our daily hour news break. Let's head back to Jamal and Michaela in the studio for today's Daily Focus.
Thanks so much, Leanna. So we did get some clarification from the CEO of the BTA, Charles H. Jeffers II. He says Cop Match has been granted a large group exemption. Events with large group exemptions can still go ahead. Also, organizers can still apply for a group exemption above 50 people. So I think that's our answer there. So Cop Match will not be affected, but have your birthday party or wedding or it's not.
That's the thing. Like, people have been planning weddings for the under 100 number, and if they don't get exemptions, then
it was like, wow, are we taking a step backward, or just after we had just been on the cusp of moving towards a bit of normalcy again? So it's a tender situation, isn't it?
Interesting time. And as of tomorrow, we will officially be in Cop Match mode. So
it's coming down. Don't worry. Don't you worry. I know I said today. But
listen, she had today by midnight is a wrap.
It's coming down. It's just I might just do it on the show and just go, sorry, Somerset.
She saw where I was going, folks. But thank you so much for that. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be back with Perri Furbert of Gold the Label. So Lee, we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Lee.
All right, let's take a quick break, and we will be back. Lee, come on now. You're a day late now.
Hello.
You're getting these Somerset people excited, girl. You're getting these Somerset people excited. Like, I think we got Leanna. No, you ain't got her. It's coming. No. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Karen, a nurse at the old folks home. These long hours used to kill my feet until my hairdresser told me about a great place to buy a pair of clogs. Medical House. Finally, relief. They also carry uniforms in bright, bold colors. And not to mention the support stockings.
Karen, Miss Soltis bet her bet again.
Oh gosh, these days I need all the support I can get.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dendy Town Field, number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke.
We're spotlighting our old friends Woodstock Farms, who started up 50 years ago in the belief that we need more trustworthy natural food sources. Starting with one product, their line, mostly certified organic, is now more than 250 strong in 10 categories. This month we're featuring accoutrements of the barbecue, for us the pinnacle of home cuisine and one of the few forms of restorative recreation now within our reach. Try Woodstock Organic Sweet Relish, Tomato Ketchup, Baby Kosher Dill Pickles, Sauerkraut, and Hickory and Original Barbecue Sauce. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
All right, welcome back to the big show, Michaela and myself, Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House One Communications, Lindo's, and our friends over at Channel 82, where you can stream many locally produced shows, including this one. All right, so you ready for this convo? I think you're excited.
I'm ready. I love Perri. I love Gold Label. I'm a customer.
So,
Yeah, I'm ready.
So, Kales, you have a pair of gold label specs?
Would you like me to get them? Because I can wear them for the interview if you'd like.
Oh, I mean, no, don't do that because I don't have a pair, and so I don't want to feel out of place.
They don't match because I like the black ones because they're like hater blocker type shades, and I love those, but they don't match this. So that's why I don't have them on, to be honest.
She said they don't match, folks. She's a stylist. I'm not. Let's bring in Perri to the conversation.
Good morning.
Hey, Perri.
So no, we're excited to have you. Honestly, I've been following you, supporting you from jump, and it's amazing to see your journey. But just when I first met you, I didn't know that's what you were into. Have you always been into fashion?
I have, yeah, since I was young. More so creative expression than anything else. I don't know, it's just who I am. So it kind of funnels itself into many places, but design is definitely a lead runner with that.
Indeed.
I love it. So can you tell us a little bit about your background? Because you said you've always loved fashion and it kind of just flipped to everything. What's your background?
In terms of studies or?
Just a bit of both.
Okay. Well, I'll start with school. I studied marketing at George Brown College, so I do wear the hat of marketer from time to time. It also completely funnels into or is channeled into the business. I'm a stickler for good visuals and communicating the right storyline. So the creativity is definitely matched with a bit of my theory, I guess. And then personally, I'm a creative. So I kind of funnel or channel all of my creativity into a bunch of different spaces. So I'm a stylist. I am also a podcaster from time to time with my friend Courtney. A bunch of different avenues. Art director from time to time. It just depends really on what's presented to me and what feels right at the time. But I definitely do have my hand in a bunch of different pots.
No, I love it. I love the multi-passionate entrepreneur, but still like the creative and the fashion background. It's really, really cool.
It all has to align.
Yes. And you get to do what you love, right? So that's amazing. Exactly. Yes. So where did the idea come from to start Go the Label?
So Go the Label was started kind of by accident. I have been revamping items for myself, and I still do. I've been doing that since I was a kid. I actually used to get in a lot of trouble revamping brand new items as a child, and it kind of carried through with me to early adulthood. So when I was in college, I used to revamp shoes and clothing for myself, and kind of to say fly on a dime because, your college budget isn't exorbitant.
Right.
I was revamping shoes and I decided to create a Facebook album to showcase the items, and the business was kind of birthed overnight with that. And that's literally how it happened. I'm so sorry for this light, by the way. I'm trying to
you're fine.
Balance it out.
You look like glowy. I'm here for it.
Orange. I'm sorry. It's the sun.
No worries. So when it comes to Go the Label, what do you offer and who would you say is like your target customer?
Okay, so Go the Label, my baby, is a brand that houses handbags, soon coming footwear, as well as eyewear for now. And then we have a diffusion line that is mainly loungewear, t-shirts and hoodies that project positive messaging, because I feel like this operation has to be a vehicle for something bigger. So there has to be messaging kind of within all of the products. And if you kind of take a close look at everything and how things are named and kind of the story behind everything, you'll kind of see the bigger picture. So that's the brand. That's what we offer. And our target audience, it ranges because we do have a few outliers, but mainly 25. That's kind of the starting point. And I would say about 50-ish. That's our range because we have fly girls in every pocket. And
of course,
we kind of, with our messaging and the strong soundtracks that are used and, the visuals, it kind of speaks to everyone within that kind of age range. So if I had to make it tight, I'd maybe cap it at 40. But when I see who our customers are, I can't leave out our 50s at all.
Right. No, I totally get it. So when you talk about like your loungewear, I know that you had a very popular shirt that had the lovely ladies from Girlfriends, which was worn by Charlemagne the God, who's the host of the Breakfast Club. And then you also have a hoodie that Aisha Curry wore. So how did that all happen? Did they just purchase? Was it like connections with other stylists or what?
Well, Aisha Curry was actually a stylist connection, but I had no idea that it would kind of flourish in that way. I actually caught it by accident. You know how you can go through your Instagram story queue? I was going through my story queue and I happened to land on her live, and there she was cooking dinner in our hoodie, which was a pretty cool experience because I didn't know. I just had no idea. She also has our Judah sunglasses, which her stylist has told me that she absolutely loves, which is kind of cool she has the cool flame ones. I haven't seen any pictures, but the stylist has let me know that she does love them and wears them pretty often. So that's kind of cool. And then Charlemagne, that was actually a gifted t-shirt, but things are kind of by chance when you do PR packages, because you don't know if they will utilize them or if it goes to a pile of extra stuff that they've received. And he actually opened it on air, which is kind of cool. Yeah, he opened it on, he called me a he, which is trash, but he opened it on air. I have a unisex name, so it is okay. And he wore it the very next day on air, interviewing Gunplay. And I of course have that saved because that's a milestone for us. And that was 3 years ago now, so 4 years ago actually. So the momentum has definitely been picking up for a while now.
No, I love it. So can you tell us about the process of having a company that's Bermuda based? Because I know you've been in Bermuda for
about a year now.
Right. But you also ship abroad. So like, what does that look like?
It's manic. So Go the Label was founded in Toronto back in 2010. That's when I was in school, and that's kind of where everything started. So it's kind of like bi-coastal in that. But it is currently still a Canadian business run by a Bermudian. So having the operation here due to COVID has been an experience. Shipping in and out of Bermuda is very expensive. The hassle with customs and the airport and that whole process is very annoying. Anyone who does it regularly knows exactly what I'm talking about. Business owners should definitely be processed separately because we don't have the same timeline as a regular civilian who's waiting for their ASOS package.
Of course.
It's not the same thing, but everything is processed at the same time. And it's a headache and I hate it, especially after dealing with the efficiency of a city, right?
Right.
And I do believe that we have the manpower and the wherewithal to operate in that way. It just isn't done that way. And I could be wrong. I don't know firsthand what it's like to operate, within the customs team and how everything goes. So from the outside, I do feel like things need to change.
Right.
So that's kind of my soapbox message on that. It is very, very difficult. Having products sit on island for about a month sometimes is just unacceptable.
Yeah. No, I've seen other local business owners, and I love your transparency about it because I know that you share the behind the scenes of your business on Instagram. Yeah, because it gives people an insight into what's going on.
Well, your customers think that you're just playing games sometimes because the behind the scenes is not their priority. So I make it a point just to bring them into it to kind of be on the growth journey with us because we are still a small business and we did experience some exponential growth very quickly. So it's just like we're a very small team and we're dealing with a system that is inefficient. So you're going to know what's happening because I need you to know that it is not us because I pride myself and my business and my team on efficiency. And when outside elements slow down our process, I'm very annoyed by that. So I just need our girl gang, as I fondly like to call them, our team of beautiful people who support us, to know that it's not us at all.
Go gang.
I totally get it. Yeah, go gang. Yes. So
that's the family.
So what is a typical day like for you? What does that look like?
Well, sometimes I have things like this in the morning, which is quite fun. But my alarm goes off every morning at 7:00. Then I have my time with God because that is important. I need to get myself ready for the day because it is a very stressful job and I need to be level-headed because the pop off can pop off real quick. So you need to have that kind of time in the beginning to recharge and kind of be centered with God with that. So that's the morning. And then I head to our workspace and it's orders. I try to get emails in early right after my quiet time, but the days get very busy because there's admin work, there's customer service. Thank goodness I have someone that's helping with customer service now, but it's quite a bit. Sometimes there's return issues. Sometimes people have quite interesting questions that they need answered case by case. You know, you have to deal with that. And then it's getting everything out by our 4:00 deadline every day to meet DHL's cutoff time. So yeah, busy days. No 2 days are the same, which I love. And then my days kind of stop at 4. That's usually when I eat lunch, which is horrible. I'm working on it. And then I'll come home, and then if I don't get a nap in then, which I really should, 9 p.m. rolls around really quickly. And then that's when I work with our factories because they are on the other side of the world and they are 12 hours ahead. So my days are really long because then I'm designing all night and approving samples and yada, 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 you know. So long days, very long days, but I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Of course, because it's your baby.
It is.
That's
and we
amazing.
turned 11.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You've explained like what a day looks like in Perri Furbert shoes. So what's your favorite part of it all?
Designing. I kind of break it down to people and let them know that during the day is work. And I do believe he who doesn't work should not eat. So I'm a hard worker, but it's not fun, right? Like people are like, oh, you own your own business, as if it's like Skittles and marshmallows every day. And it's a lot of work all day. You're putting out big fires all day, right? Like the customs thing and the shipping, that's an ongoing nonstop issue, right? You're dealing with that all day, right? And then you have customer issues, you have factory errors with product. Like people don't consider that sometimes you get a full case of things that are wrong.
Yeah.
You know, so it's putting out big fires all day. So the creation time is my favorite time because that's the start of something. That's me expressing myself. That's me creating something out of nothing to then present to the world. Like, look, I want to give this to you as a part of me. So in the evenings when I'm with the factories and I'm kind of liaising and we're going over things, that's my favorite part. And then receiving the samples in person, because designing and creating is one part, but then to actually hold the thing that was in your mind for so long in person, nothing beats that.
I love it.
And then, of course, when customers receive, there's a few. When customers receive, I'm just thinking as I'm kind of expressing, when customers receive product for the first time, that's something, because then they relate to you how it's made them feel, and that is indescribable.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you, because like I purchased a pair of shades and I love them. Every time I wear them, I love them. And every time I wear them, I get asked where they come from. Every single time. And I'm like, go with the label, go buy them, go with the label.
That's the energy we need. Yes.
Because it's amazing. Like, it's very important for me to support Black businesses, not because they're Black, but because they're excellent, right? And not only Black businesses, but yes, a Bermudian Black business, like everybody should be buying.
I think that distinction is so important, because I won't say I pride myself on it, but it is very much a priority to hold excellency at the forefront.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think as Black creators, we have so much to prove, not necessarily to the rest of the world, but to each other. We are our worst critics. Like, the Black community holds Black creators and Black businesses to a very unrealistic standard. So I just don't give any room for anything to be poked at. And to do that is to just always be excellent, which can create a little bit of pressure. But I feel like if that's the standard, then you're in good money, because then you're always shooting to be the best version of yourself and to create the best version of whatever it is you're doing. So I don't like mediocrity at all. So I'm so happy you made that distinction, because I find that on island, the bar is very low, but not because it has to be, but because people don't try. And there's amazing talent here. You know, there's no reason why there's so few people that are on a global kind of acknowledgement scale, I guess.
Yeah.
Because Bermudians are incredibly talented, and
Mm-hmm.
the world should know about that. So if Gold the Label gets to be a forerunner to kind of let people know, like, this is created by a Black Bermudian woman who doesn't have a whole lot of those biases, which I won't get into, like, you know, a Black girl, then it's possible. So
no, I love that. And like I said, I'm a big fan of supporting Black creatives who operate in excellence. It's just very important to me, and I feel like it should be important to every single Black person.
It should be, and it shouldn't be trendy either.
No, it should just be a thing that we do and don't even think. Perri just put out an amazing new bag. Oh, that's fly. I'm just gonna buy it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that should just be what it is.
Exactly.
So what's next? Because I've seen some things on the gram. What's next?
Shoes has been the problem child. And I think it's been the problem child mainly because the process is a new process for me, but also that's where we started. I started customizing shoes. So it has to be right. And I'm being a little bit more nitpicky than I usually am, which is very nitpicky. So it's like extreme, because I need it to be a good representation of what I want to say and how I want it to look. And that just takes time. But I'm getting a little antsy because it's been a while to try to bring it to life. And just when I think we're close, we're not there yet. So that's what's next. And a bunch more bags. We're releasing a duffel really soon, which I'm excited, which then expands all of our travel stuff. I'm speaking ahead of it, but we do have a fun duffel coming, and then a bunch more in the pipeline. So I'm excited about it all. God has really just paved the way for us, and I'm just kind of running where he leads.
Glad you legit just went into where I was going. I was going to say, I mean, you've been public about this. You've been in different publications about your spirituality. How much of a role does that play in your success and what drives you?
All of it. If it isn't apparent, all of our sunglasses are named by or named after biblical elements. Our Judah sunglasses, Lion of Judah, or the Children of Judah, Tribe of Judah, Zion, the holy place, secret holy place of God, Eden are our next frames, which are coming, which I'm so excited about. And then we have Exodus, which is a movement of people. So it drives everything I do. I am a Christian, and I like to call myself a cool Christian. I don't necessarily fit into all of the boxes that mainstream Christianity looks like, but that's my Lord and Savior. And if I'm doing anything, it has to look like him. And it may not look like him in the way other people want it to look like him, but that's all right. It's an extension of me and my walk. And it's got to look like me. And if I look like him, then it's got to look like him. So I don't hide that. Inside of our Exodus cases, there's a scripture, which I absolutely love, which I feel like even if you aren't a Christian, it's something to kind of consider, which is Hebrews 11:1. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Everyone has faith for something, right? Everyone's hoping for something, working towards something. And you have to believe you have it before you have it. And it's talking about vision. So that's the marketing, right? If it's a scripture about vision and it's in a sunglasses case, that makes perfect sense to me. And people probably didn't even catch that, but that's where my mind goes with the details, and it goes back to the excellency. But no, if you didn't know that this was a Christian operation, now you know. Well, I think it's fly. I
want to go back because I think that's one of the most courageous things about you that I see on social media is like we live in a time where people actually do hide or keep more private their religious beliefs. And I think what's courageous about you is in this time, you're very open and transparent about it. So no, much props to you. A question from the audience, Teresa Terry K. Stewart. She's asking, do you plan to scale the business to have a larger team? If so, what roles will you be looking to fill?
Yes, we are. So our team is quite small right now. We have a PR girl. I have an assistant on a need basis, and then we have customer service. But I want to expand so I can just focus on creating. But in time, because I feel that success acquired too quickly will fumble, right? So in time, when we can do that with excellency and I can give people exactly what they need, and this can be a home for them that they can grow in and kind of display their proficiencies at an optimal level, then yes. But right now, I think we're doing okay in that area, but very soon, because we're expanding very quickly. Like, I look at our numbers and our newsletter list is growing very rapidly. And in time, maybe by the beginning of next year, but don't worry, we'll let you know. That's one thing about Go the Label, where you need to know,
you'll know.
Exactly.
I agree with that.
We have a comment from Rosalind Famous. I hear you on the quote, it's not Skittles and marshmallows part, end quote. I totally relate, but we keep pushing. That's when you know you love what you do. Mark Phillips actually has a question. Good morning. Where can I find your products? What's your website? And I have a question because I don't think we touched on this. Anything for the gentleman up in there?
Yeah. So my audience is women because we speak the same language, and men are quite fickle with what they purchase. So if we're going to bank on anybody, it's going to be women. If we look at the stats on how much women spend on themselves, I'm going through women. But we do have some unisex products. So our Exodus frames, well, technically all of our frames, depending on your style, can be worn because it's subjective, right? But men have purchased design frames in Everyday Onyx, which are the oversized black frames. And they've also purchased our Exodus frames, which are our kind of remix on design frames, specifically for men. They have a more masculine framing to them, and they're smaller because a lot of men don't want to wear oversized frames. So we reimagine them. So if you look at the structure of them, they look similar, but they are quite different. And men have purchased our Everyday Onyx in Zion and Exodus, as well as Anchor in Exodus as well. But we have duffels coming, which are very masculine. Of course, that is not gender specific. Anyone can carry a duffel. So soon, very soon. And where you can find us is gothelabel.com. We do ship with DHL, both locally in Bermuda and internationally. There is no in-person pickup, so just treat us like any other online business. And for locals, after your order is processed, and this is important, after your order is processed, because it is a bit of processing time because we do have an influx of orders, your shipment is next day. So it's not next day after you order it, but after you get your tracking information, local deliveries are the next day. So I feel like that's a little bit of an incentive. So there is no in-person collection, but you do get your package the next day after it has been released from us. So I think that that's a pretty good deal.
I want to share this quick story before you run. We're out of time, but
man,
no, we're having fun.
I'm having fun.
We're definitely having you back. But I shared something on Twitter. This was probably back in April.
Okay.
One of my business partners came up, and we went to a mall. I live in South Florida, and we went in a sunglass hut.
Okay.
And just looking, and we're looking. She basically said, I don't remember word for word right now. It's months later, and I used to drink a lot, so my mind's not what it is. But basically said, like, you know what? No, I just bought a new pair of Go the Labels. Like, I'm not getting anything from her. And we walked out. And but I felt like, yo, this is what it's all about. Yeah. And this goes back to, not just Bermudian, but Black Bermudian, a Black woman. Like,
thank you.
Look at her. I'm going to put her on the spot. This is her. Like, the person that did it. Like, this is my partner. And that in that moment, Perri, I just want to be very honest with you. In that moment, I couldn't have been more proud of everything that you're doing, because there's not often when someone goes into a spot like a sunglass chain, right? Or a sneaker chain, or any of these spaces, and they think, no, there's a local Bermudian business who I'm supporting who has quality products or similar or whatnot. So thank you, because I don't think you did this to be an inspiration, but you certainly are an inspiration to so many. And I love to see that. And again, I'm going to comment on this. What you do better than most people is you stay true to who you are during your entire journey. And I really don't think that should go over people's heads. So thank you for trusting our platform, having this conversation.
Thank you.
Please know that
I'm blushing. This is awesome.
anything we can do, if there's anything we can do to
no, seriously, like I cannot wait for the duffels. I'm so excited. Last year I sent my husband the link to the new bags that dropped. I was like, these are my birthday presents, thank you. Yes. And he bought them. Like, so I can't wait for the duffels.
We love a husband that follows instructions, or a partner, because I have a lot of girls actually send us messages like, I sent these to my boyfriend, and sure enough, they tag us in a picture a few weeks later, and I'm like, yes, boyfriend.
Yes,
this is literally what needed to be done.
Yes. I literally just told my husband, this exactly, thank you. Like, don't deviate from the plan, just this.
Around Christmas, we got quite a few emails of husbands being like, no, I need to get these. Is there any way?
I feel like I'm being put under pressure a bit right now, but it's all good. Real quick question. We should have asked this at the start, and this may determine our relationship going forward.
Oh gosh.
Okay.
What colors do you wear?
Oh, blue and blue through and through.
Come on now. Here we go, folks.
Don't play with me.
You let us know when you want to come back and the door's open. Thank you so much.
I love it.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much, and we'll be in touch with you soon.
Thank you for having me. Bye.
Thanks, Perri. Bye.
Perri. Go to label, folks. Folks, if you enjoyed that conversation, you know what to do. Give a thumbs up, a love, a like. That was, look, 2 awesome conversations back-to-back days this week. Well, triple back-to-back. But show us some love. Go support her. We're going to show the movement moment. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with the Daily Play. It's going to be fun. If one of you guessed the Daily Play answer before Michaela, which it's quite possible, it's easy.
What?
We'll give you something. Here's your movement moment for today.
Movement moment brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Together, we can illuminate your path to wellness.
Welcome to today's movement moment with Tamara Donnell, brought to you by People's. Tamara, what are we discussing today?
Good morning, Jamal. Today we are just doing a quick wrap up of the month that has just finished, and a brief introduction to the next power on our horoscope of power, 12 months of living your best life. If you have been following us since January, my hope is that you are beginning to understand how critical a role you play in your own health outcomes. I hope you are beginning to understand how, with a little bit of knowledge and a little bit of healthy conversation, we can begin to get in the driver's seat for our own health. Our medical professionals are so critical to our healthcare, but nothing can replace our own investment in our health, tuning into our bodies and understanding what's going on, so that we can explain to our medical professionals what it is we're feeling and experiencing. So this month we went over in detail the importance of the sun, heat, the power of the sun. Next month, we touch on something near and dear to our hearts in Bermuda, hydration, the power of H2O. Water is so important in Bermuda that our grandmothers literally monitor every last drop of water. So just like it's important to maintain a healthy water level in our tanks in Bermuda, it's even more important to maintain a healthy water level in our bodies. This is something that I personally struggle with, getting enough quality hydration in my life. So in the month of July, we will be focusing on hydration, its role in our health, and some of the tips that I intend to implement to improve my hydration. I am definitely not the best, and this is one of the powers that I need the most in my horoscope of power. So stay tuned to Movement with Tamara Donnell. Stay tuned to People's BDA page, and definitely follow us for the movement moments for the rest of July to talk about hydration.
Thank you for tuning into this movement moment. To enjoy the benefits of the full episode, check us at Instagram at MVMT with Tamara Donnell or at People's BDA.
At Bermuda Communications Group Limited, Limited, we love to help businesses and organizations of all sizes across various industries. Find out how we've been working with our clients to improve their customer experience and increase their revenue. Send us an email to contact@bermudacommunications.com to see how we can assist you next. All right, welcome back. Thanks again. That was Perri Furbert, the Gold the Label. Thanks again. Again, if you enjoyed that conversation, please give us a thumbs up, a like, a love. Show her some love. It's Daily Playtime. The Daily Play brought to you by Heineken 0.0. Great taste and no alcohol. Ask me how I know. Here you go. Today is a say it, don't sing it, folks. Help Michaela out.
Gosh.
Here we go. It's a song. These are the lyrics to a very famous song. Quote, I could have another you in a minute. Matter of fact,
I could have another you in a minute. Matter of fact, he'll be there in a minute. Baby, you must not know about me. You must not know about me. You want me go on?
What's the name of the song, Chaos?
Irreplaceable by the lovely Beyonce Giselle Knowles Carter.
Okay. Yeah.
Nobody had a chance today.
Nobody
Sorry.
had a chance. She didn't give y'all a chance, man. Wow. That well, and tomorrow, folks. We'll get it back tomorrow. We'll get it back. Look, this is the thing. Like, I mean, she slips up once every 4 days. So tomorrow we're working on her. We're working on her. Yes. Chaos, what are your thoughts on today's episode?
First thing, I love Perri Furbert. I think that if you are a Bermudian woman, or if you're a man who's watching this and you want to buy something fabulous for your wife, I highly recommend checking out Gold the Label. The products are excellent. They're of high quality. It's on the same level that you're going to get when you buy things overseas for more money. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you're supporting a Bermudian who's excellent. So just go support her. Go buy yourself some new shades. Like, go do it. It's summertime.
I absolutely admire her. Small Bermuda to Canada, making it out of Bermuda. I love it. I really do. And I thank her for being an inspiration. And I encourage anyone who's interested in growing beyond Bermuda to just look at her journey. Reach out to her, speak to her, see how it's done.
Reach out to her, pick her brain, but you got to pay for it. So
absolutely. Absolutely. That type of intellect don't come free. As far as the early part of the show, I just want to encourage people. I agree with people fighting and taking a stand. But if I can give one piece of advice is have a strategy and a plan. It's not going to happen overnight. I can tell you 2006 or 5, we started conscription. It didn't end legally until I want to say 2018. So it's not going to be easy. You got to keep fighting, but you have to have a strategy and a plan, and you can't be all over the place. I'm speaking from experience. Chaos, you got any daily inspiration for us?
You got to have purpose too.
Absolutely.
Purpose is a big part of it. I sure do. So this is from Nora Ephron, and I'm kind of talking to the women, but it's all right. Above all, be the heroine of your life, not the victim.
Chaos. Ooh, that is all I can say to add to that. In order to be like a Perri Furbert or Michaela Ian, or you name someone that's successful in their own right, we have to lose the victim mentality. Lose that mindset. Chaos, any final words for everyone before we head out?
Let's make it a good day. Let's go out there. Let's do the thing, and let's do it with excellence.
All right. Thanks again to our partners, Medical House One Communications Lenders, for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. Folks, you got to listen to me. Go and like and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. I see you one by one, but come on, let's get it going. Don't forget to also subscribe to our YouTube channel. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. Final show of the week. Don't forget it. I'm saying don't forget it. Don't forget. Don't forget it. She's Michaela Ian. I'm Jamal Hartman. Make it a great day.
Peace.
Peace.